recording, hide, ignore. Okay, so as we jump into the very short session with only one topic, um, in JavaScript, okay, let me open this. Uh, can everyone see my Word document?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Okay,
Ashish.
great. Let me. Okay, so in JavaScript, we have four kind of scopes. Scopes in the sense how we can access the variable values. Okay, one being a global scope, another being a local scope, and third being the function scope, and fourth being the block scope. Okay, and we will be not discussing this global scope, local scope, or function scope. The only thing which we will be discussing about is the block scope, as let and const are block scope variable types only. And as we will be using let and const only, variable types only in our code, so we will be discussing completely about block scope. Now we'll discuss what exactly this block scope is all about. Okay. Now if I go in here, now if you see in W3 schools, it says JavaScript code blocks. Okay. Now please read this statement. JavaScript statements can be grouped in code blocks inside curly brackets. So whichever we write in this curly brackets, then that is called as code block. Okay. The purpose of code blocks is to define statements to be executed together. I mean, any statement which we want to execute together, then we can place them under these curly braces, and that is called as code blocks. And why we need to only discuss about code blocks? Because if I scroll down, if you see, let declares a block variable, which is a code block variable. Const is also declares a block constant. I mean, both let and const are related to block, code block. That is the reason we will only be discussing about code blocks. Okay. Now we'll come to an example. Okay. We'll come to an example. In here, now if I copy the complete thing, okay, paste in here. Okay, let me open another just compiler.
Ashish, uh,
Yes,
objects also we write it between brackets like this. Can be also called like a block.
yes, no, that we are not executing anything. We are just creating an object. We are just creating. We are not doing any task on it, right? We are not doing any
No, no.
task. Yeah, so
We
we
take
are
the
just
variable name.
yes.
Mm.
So that is not a code block. I mean, we are not performing anything over there, any task over there. Okay.
Okay, okay.
But still,
Thank you.
if they are as they are between the curly brackets, those are group statements only, group statements. But this is a different thing, different scenario. I'll explain you. Now if I paste in here, now we haven't discussed about function, how to create a function in JavaScript, neither we have discussed about if conditional statements yet. But I this example, what I want to discuss here is, okay, now let's say, okay, let me put this as well. Okay, now what I did here is I created a function. Okay, I created a function with name as block scope. Function is nothing but a method. I mean, a task which we perform, like making tea. Okay, if I say making tea, then I can say making tea. Okay, and okay, and I can, that is, okay, sh- mm, making tea. Okay, here what I'm doing here is I'm creating a function. Okay, or we can call it as a method. Okay, we can call it as a method. Here what I'm doing is I am calling a function, or we can call it as method. Okay, now when I say I am creating a function making t, in this curly brace where the starting one and the ending one, in here I will write all the code how to create, how to make t. I'll be writing code in here, I mean from the starting curly braces to the ending curly braces. So we will definitely discuss about functions and how to create and how to call them. But here what I want to discuss is, now let's say I'm creating a function making t. In that I have given a if block. If true, I mean we will also discuss about this. But let's say we are successful in making tea all the time. We are always successful in making tea all the time. Okay, so here what I did, I have created couple of variables, one being let and one being const. Okay, here this also I have, this variables I have placed it under a code block, starting here and start and ending here. Okay, so this is also one kind of code block which is in this code block. Okay, which is in this code block. So let me give some space. Okay, and let me give some. Okay, so the first set of code block is for the function which starts here and ends here, and the second set of code block is for if condition where it starts here and ends here. Okay, so now if I want to print this d value and pi value, I can write the statements in here, I mean inside the if block, inside the if code block I can write the statements. Now if I run, now if I want to run this, I mean if I want to print these values, what I need to do is I need to call this function. I mean I'm just creating the function here making t, but in order to run this function, in order to execute this program or execute this function, I need to call that function. How can I call that function? Just uh, okay, you just need to copy this complete thing with the curly brackets. You need to place it here. I mean you just need to name the function. I mean this is function keyword and this is a function name. This complete is a function name. Okay, so now in order to call the function, I just need to place in the name. I just need to place in the name. Now what, when I run this, I can see the block value has been printed. Okay, so this is successful under the block. If as it is inside the block and we are accessing the values inside the let and const variable values inside the block, it it is successful. Now what I am doing here is I am trying to access it from outside the block. Okay, now I want to access, as this is between, okay, this is in between these blocks only. Now what I want to access, I want to access it from outside the if block, but inside the function block, inside the function block. Let's see if I can access this or not. Okay, see it says I cannot access it because let and const are block variables. I mean, what if they are inside any block and that block ends here, then you cannot access it outside the block at any point of time. Not here. And also, if you want to if you want to access it completely from outside the function, completely from outside the function as well, when you try to access it, see, again it gave me an error stating that you cannot access it outside the block. I mean, if it is inside the block, then you can only access those values inside the block only. You cannot access them outside the block. If there is a curly brace ended, then later if you are trying to access it, you cannot access it at anywhere, any point of time. You cannot access it. Okay, you cannot access d value or the pi value. from outside. Understood. Or I will be providing more examples. Okay, now you understood. Okay, now this is the code. Okay, this is a code block. Okay, inside only you can access let and const values. Now I'll come to another example. Okay, let's see here. This is the starting of the code block, and this is the ending of the code block. Now I have give, created three variables a, b, and c, and I'm doing some operation. I mean a plus b, and inside only I'm trying to access the c value. Okay, this is fine. Same for const. Same. I'm doing a multiplication, and inside only I'm trying to access the z value. Okay, let me run it. All good here, all good. Now if I come outside of the block, if I want to access this c value outside the block, see what happens. Okay, sorry, I need to uncomment this. See, it gave me an error stating that you cannot access c variable value outside the code block. It says c is not defined. It doesn't know any. I mean, the program doesn't know where exactly you have defined c. I mean, it is trying to find it. It is trying to find outside this where exactly the c value is defined, but it is unable to find it. That is the reason it gave me an error stating that c is not defined. Same if I do it for the const. Okay, let me try to access this. See, it gave me the same result. So if any value which is placed, sorry, not any, if let and const variable types and values variables are placed inside the code block, then you can access them only inside the code block. If you want to access them outside the code block, it is not possible. So now okay, now I'll ask few questions. Let me come here. Okay. Just let a equal to 10. Okay. And now I'm creating a code block, starting curly brace and ending curly brace. In here, I'm writing I'm creating another let variable, let b equal to 20, and another one, c equal to 30, and I'm doing some operations here, like d equal to b plus c, b oh, plus c. Okay, now console dot log. Here I'm trying to access d value. Same I'll do for the const. Now please tell me what all lines will give me an error here. What all lines will throw me an error here?
Uh, Actually, there is noise.
Element can't be
Sorry, which one?
It's noise. Too
It's
much
not.
noise.
It's not. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's not visible.
it's noise. Too much noise.
Now,
I think it's better. Yeah, better.
okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, now please let me know which all lines will give me an error.
Yes, because they're outside of the block.
Okay, which all lines?
It's
D and A.
D
mm,
and
A.
A. Okay.
A.
Okay, D and A will throw an error for me, right?
A
No,
only.
no, D also inside the curly braces, so only A will
A.
throw error.
A
Yes.
will throw error. Okay.
Mm,
Okay. Let me do one thing. Okay. So this should throw an error, right?
yes.
Okay. Why didn't it
A.
throw an error?
Because it's just declared the assigned the value there of A.
Okay.
A.
Let
So
me do some operation here. Uh,
Actually,
uh,
A
there
is
is no
already.
Sorry. Actually,
there is no A there. I don't see any A. It's not. This A from before, yes. So
A
this is
is
not inside
already, let's say, equal to 10
outside.
is already there, so A should not be given error. Sorry.
okay.
It's already outside. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's
only the values which are inside the block, only the values which are inside the block when you're trying, I mean, only the variables, sorry, not the values, only the variables which are present inside the block. If you're trying to access them outside, only those will throw an error. But if you place it like this is independent, this is not under any block, this is not under any curly braces, so this can be accessed easily, I mean anywhere you can access it. But if you place it under inside the code block, inside the curly braces, then you cannot access it. Like if I now comment this, now if I try to run this, this will throw an error because D is inside the code block. D is inside the code block. Now I'll comment this, okay, and run again. See, D, as D is inside the code block, we cannot access D outside the code block. Same goes for Z as well. Same goes for Z as well. Okay, understood. But if you place it outside independently, if you place it independently, let's say let m equal to 90, comma n equal to 76, comma p equal to what they say, m star n. Okay, oh, not 8, m star n. Okay, now console.log p, right? Yeah. Now tell me, will p throw an error or it will give me an output?
It will give a output.
Sure, right?
It will
Yes.
give an output.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay,
It's
why?
already outside. It's already
Outside,
outside with the
yes.
independence.
Yes, see? Okay, so we got to know what is 36, 90 multiplied of 76 today. So it's 6840. So now you understood? Like if and only if the variables are inside the curly braces, if and only if they are placed inside the curly braces, then only those variables you cannot access it outside. Now tell me, okay, one more question. Console dot log y. Okay, can you tell me, can I access this y outside?
No, we can't.
We can't, right? Let's
No,
see.
no.
See, it threw
Error.
an error. Why? Because okay, why? Because y is inside the code block.
It's
Code.
inside the class.
Yeah, it is inside the code block. Same goes for B, C, D we checked, X and Z we checked. So only and only if those are inside the code blocks, you cannot access them outside. You cannot access. Whenever it says this error message, like not ignore y, whenever it says is not defined, please do check your code if you have defined this variable inside the code block and you're trying to access it outside the code block? If yes, then remove it from the outside and access it from inside. If you access it from inside, then there will be no problem. Or else, okay, what? Okay, yeah, I need to see now. It's all good, all good. Okay. Okay. So, and if you want to access the outside, I mean, if you want to make the variable free, so that you can access it at any point of time, sorry, at any place of your code, then do not place them under code blocks. Do not place them under code blocks. Just keep them free. I mean, leave them free. Then you can access it like console.a and what else, p, right? Yeah, see, you can access 10 and 684. Understood?
Yes. Yes, Ashish.
Yes.
All good?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is all for today. And we will be meeting on Monday. And we will be starting the most important and interesting topics from Monday, which is conditional statements. And then we will jump into looping statements. Why exactly these things and operators are important is because these are all related to those conditional statements and looping statements. We will be using these a lot in that conditional and looping statements, and it will be interesting, very interesting topic. Okay, so yeah, so that is all for today. As I said,
Okay.
it's a very short session today. Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you.
thank you everyone.
Thank
And
you.
Thank
please
Bye.
do
you.
practice, please do practice in weekend if possible. Please do practice operators, especially operators. Please do practice a lot, because they will be, I mean, the values will be changing whenever you do any operation on the operands. I mean on the values, they will be changing on the values, and the next statement when you're trying, then you might not get the expected output. So you always use console.log to check what is the current value of the variable is, what is the current value of the variable, so that it will be easy for you to identify where exactly you need to change your code or where exactly you need to work on your code. Okay,
Okay.
great. Okay, thank you everyone, and have a lovely weekend. Friday, right? Yeah, yeah, have a lovely weekend. Okay,
Okay. Have a
Yeah.
nice
Thank.
weekend, everyone. Bye
yeah,
bye.
thank you, bye bye.
Bye.
Sorry, any questions? Does anyone have any questions? I forgot to ask. Does anyone have
Uh,
any questions?
no, Ashish.
Okay, great. Okay, great. And then happy weekend, everyone. Okay,
Yeah.
bye
Thank you.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.